Stanford University.
Well, welcome. I'm Sally Benson. I'm the director of the Global Climate and Energy Project here at Stanford University, and I will, along with the GCEP staff, be your host for this meeting. And it's wonderful to see all of you here. We're extremely excited about the program that we've got planned, and absolutely delighted with all of the participants, speakers, and people participating in the poster sessions and so forth. So I give you a wonderful welcome here to Stanford University. So the theme for this year's symposium is creating a sustainable energy system for the 21st century and beyond. So I thought it was worth taking a minute to think, well, what do we mean about a sustainable energy system? Clearly, availability of modern forms of energy is really the lifeblood of modern civilization. It makes us productive, it lets us travel, it provides us entertainment, it lets us communicate. So having plentiful energy is absolutely crucial to the success of humanity. So there are many dimensions to a sustainable energy system, and often when I listen to people talk that they're bringing such a different perspective, but in reality, as we think about this global energy system, we need to take into account all of these perspectives. So from a societal point of view, it's very important that we provide access to energy. From an economic point of view, it's important that our energy sources are affordable. From a national security perspective, we want to ensure that the energy resources are secure, that we have control over whether people have electricity, whether people have access to natural gas, for example. And so it's the sovereign concerns about energy security are also very important drivers. And then finally, what often gets most of our attention is the environment, at least recently with regard to energy. We need to make sure that our energy system is protective of the environment, in particular that we avoid global climate change associated with CO2 emissions, that we have good air quality so that people can be healthy, and that it does not unduly interfere with our precious groundwater and surface water resources. So when we talk about our sustainable energy system, this is what we mean is satisfying all of these needs. So it's very sobering, though, to think today that there are so many people who don't have access to modern forms of energy. There are 2.5 billion people who use biomass for cooking. Not only is this a challenge in terms of gathering all of that biomass, but when burned inside, it creates very significant air quality problems for particularly mothers and children. And also, if we look that there are 1.5 billion people who don't have access to electricity, lighting, simple lighting, so children can study at home at night and people can pump water without having to do it with human or animal labor. So it's very easy sitting here in California, Stanford, and thinking about energy efficiency and so forth, which is incredibly important, but we can't forget that we need lots more energy supplies to meet the global needs. In fact, there are estimates which suggest that by 2050, we'll need twice as much energy as we're using today. And given the stresses that our energy system is under already, it's quite daunting to think about doubling this supply. Now, I don't want to leave the impression of doom and gloom. In fact, I think that there's tremendous opportunity to rebuild the energy system in the developed world and to build a sustainable energy system for others, and tremendous technological opportunities, jobs, and so forth. So yes, this is a challenge, but at the same time, it also provides many opportunities. So at the Global Climate and Energy Project, our mission is to do research, scientific research. And in particular, we focus on finding energy supplies with low greenhouse gas emissions. And this covers everything from renewable energy to carbon capture and storage, biomass, all kinds of things. So we very much believe that a portfolio of solutions is the approach to take. We also take the little bit longer view than others often do, looking at the sort of 10 to 50-year time horizon. And our goal is to sort of keep this innovation pipeline filled with new ideas, new approaches, so we can continue to improve efficiency, lower cost, and as we fully realize this transition, there are plenty of good ideas. So our strategy is also to focus on those big opportunities. We're not looking for 1,000 little solutions. In fact, if we came up with a dozen or two really big hitters as part of this portfolio, we would be very happy. So we spent a lot of time thinking about really what's important about the energy system and where could we have the biggest impact. We also are interested in really new ideas. There's tremendous amount that can be done in terms of incremental improvements, improving efficiencies, lowering costs of existing energy technologies. But we think that as we go forward, that we're going to really need some new options in addition to the ones that are available to us today. We also are very interested, doing really new things brings risk. You don't know if you're going to succeed or fail, and in fact, we don't look at a project that doesn't work out exactly like we expected as a failure. We look to say, what did we learn from this project? So we're willing to take a big risk if we believe that there's a big reward at the end of the tunnel. We also work with not only Stanford faculty and students, but students from around the world, and I'm really delighted that we have many students here. Particularly, we've got a group of people from China, one of the most recent additions to our group. So welcome to the students from China, and actually all the students here. So our goal is to become a creativity engine for innovation in the energy sector. Our project, the Global Climate and Energy Project, is sponsored by 4 members of industry, leading industrial companies, ExxonMobil, General Electric, Schlumberger, and Toyota. Each of these companies has tremendously deep and robust fundamental and applied research capabilities. So our goal is to work together with the know-how that they bring to us, as well as the know-how of the Stanford community and universities around the world, to identify those most important opportunities and then enable faculty and students to perform cutting-edge research. And in the process of doing this, we not only educate the next generation of energy thought leaders, we produce tremendous, excellent science, develop breakthrough ideas with the ultimate goal, again, of our sustainable energy system. So we have a healthy environment for humans and all the other things we share this planet with. So a little status report. GCEP got going in about 2003. And so we're, well underway. We've been doing this for a while. The initial plan was that GCEP would have support of about $225 million over a period of 10 years. We've now allocated $131 million of that, thanks to the generous support of our sponsors. This has involved going through 11 rounds of solicitations, and many of you who are GCEP investigators have gone through these, and we appreciate all your good ideas. As a result of this, we've had 75 large research projects, 26 what we call exploratory research projects. These are for ideas that really aren't even quite ready to write a full proposal on. We work with 30 different institutions around the globe, 18 Stanford department. We have 121 faculty members who work on this project, and very importantly, over 400 graduate students and postdoctoral students. And I often get the question, what's the most important thing that GCEP has done? And to me, the most important thing that we've done is provide these 400 students and postdocs the opportunity to take one of the most creative times in their life and focus it on one of the largest challenges and opportunities that we face. We also have patents, 30 patent applications, 3 of those issued, and of course we publish everything that we do. That was one of the hallmarks of the GCEP program, is real openness to make sure that everything we did was available to our scientific colleagues and so forth. So I encourage you to go to our website. It's a very rich resource about all of the projects we do, both in the research projects as well as some analysis work that we do. So that's a status report of where we are. Here's a picture showing some of the GCEP, actually all of the GCEP participating universities, and you can see they're spread around the world, and those who are here from Europe and Asia, welcome to the symposium. So this is a snapshot of all of the research that we've done, a pie chart showing the distribution between the different types of potential energy solutions. I like this because it really illustrates what we mean by a portfolio, that no one solution will work. So this represents the cumulative investment that we've made in a variety of different areas. The single largest one is in the area of renewable energy, and in that, photovoltaics and bioenergy being the two biggest components. The next largest component has to do with fossil fuel-based energy systems, and our focus is to make combustion more efficient. If we can do that, we will reduce greenhouse gas emissions, reduce pollutants associated with combustion. And second, for those energy resources that we use that are carbon emitters, we do work to develop methods to capture that carbon dioxide before it goes into the atmosphere and sequester it. And so that's an important part of our program. We also do a lot of work on electrochemistry and now, more recently, the electric grid. So working on batteries, fuel cells, how to operate the electric grid. And we also do work on hydrogen, both hydrogen production and hydrogen storage. So at this symposium, you'll have the opportunity to hear speakers address some of these issues and lots of posters. The students know more about these topics than anybody, so it's a fantastic opportunity to talk one-on-one about really cutting-edge research in all of these areas. I thought I'd give you a little glimpse of some of the examples of innovative technologies that we've worked on. And this is one. This is a relatively new project. Nick Malash and Ziek Shen got the idea that why not, instead of using a traditional photovoltaic device, why not try to make a new kind of energy conversion device that uses photon-enhanced thermionic emission as a way of generating electricity directly from solar photons. But then, instead of basically throwing away the heat or having the heat as a challenge to deal with, why not have a heat exchanger and basically harvest that heat and then run a traditional steam cycle? So what this is like, it's like cogen for solar energy. And it has both the benefits of improved efficiency. Theoretical calculations suggest it could be upwards of 50% efficient, which is fantastic compared to, say, the 20% for some of the better devices available today. It also has the potential to deal with the problem of the day-night energy supply with solar energy, that it's not necessary, for example, to use the electricity or use the steam directly during the hottest time of the day. In fact, you could store that heat and use it during the nighttime to produce electricity. So moving towards 24/7 electricity production from the sun. So that's one example. Another example is fuels. Transportation fuels are so important to our economy. We need transportation fuels for aircraft, for cars, for trains, for heavy-duty trucking, and so forth. And certainly, traditional biofuels provide one pathway to make transportation fuels from a renewable energy resource. But what about solar energy? We'd like to be able to produce electricity from that. What about wind? So a new activity that we've got going on is something called electrofuels. And basically the idea is that you could take carbon dioxide captured from a power plant, you could put it into an electrofuel reactor, provide basically energy for microorganisms to produce either hydrogen, methane, or liquid fuels. And also the residue from this electrofuel process, basically the sludge, could also go into a power plant to generate electricity. So this is one of the opportunities we see to further expand the capability or capacity of renewable fuels to deal with the transportation sector. Another idea, electric cars. We hear a lot about electric cars today, a lot of excitement. You can buy them today, and in a year from now, you'll be able to buy even more of them. And we've spent a lot of time working on batteries, and Yi Shui has had some good success with improving lithium-ion batteries by using silicon nanowires in them to make them have a higher energy density and make them more durable. But that's only going to take us so far. What about when you want to drive from here to Los Angeles? It would be difficult if you didn't want to stop to charge along the way. So a new idea that we're working on is wireless charging. So imagine that you're driving down a highway. There's a strip down the middle of that road that by magnetic induction actually charges your car as you're driving along. So these are some of the futuristic kind of ideas that we're working on to keep this innovation pipeline full. And then finally, another example is that the idea of carbon sequestration in deep geological formations really got going in the early 1990s, and by 1996 there was actually a project that demonstrated the ability to sequester safely CO2 in a saline aquifer. There's basically a sandstone type of formation. But it turns out that those kinds of geologic formations are not available everywhere. And in fact, there are many places where you have primarily volcanic rocks, lava. And so the question is well, could you sequester CO2 in these? And we have a new project, a collaboration between Stanford University, also people from the USGS supporting that, to figure out if you injected CO2 into lava formation, could you form minerals quickly enough, carbonate minerals, so that you could sequester the CO2? So those are just some snapshots. You'll hear much more about all these projects and the many other that we do. But I wanted to give you a sense of the kind of work we're doing. So in terms of plans for the year ahead, we've gotten very interested in imagining an energy system where you have more than 50% renewable energy. So really a lot of it, and the issues of intermittency become very serious. So we've started to look at large-scale energy storage that will help firm the supply of renewable energy. So next year at this symposium, you'll hear more about all of those projects we're starting. We also have, in cooperation with the SLAC National Laboratory and the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, started an energy summer school. So for those of you who are students here, it's a 2-week program focusing on both the technology, individual component technologies, as well as how you assemble that portfolio to deliver the energy services that we need. So I encourage you to keep an eye out for that. So I've been talking a lot about GCEP. What I'd like to spend a moment talking about now is some other energy-related initiatives at Stanford University. We were very, very fortunate several years ago to be able to institute a new effort here, and that's the Precourt Institute for Energy. And this is an overarching umbrella organization providing both coordination as well as providing a convening point for the community of researchers here at Stanford and our partners to really accelerate the pace of innovation in this area. So the Precourt Institute for Energy is led by Professor Lynn Orr, the former director of GCEP, and you will be meeting him shortly. It includes a number of different activities. One is the Precourt Energy Efficiency Center, which is focused on sort of shorter-term improvements in energy efficiency, which is going to be crucial to both providing energy services in the developed and developing world. GCEP, which you've heard about and you'll hear a lot more about. And we've also established the Tomcat Center for Sustainable Energy, and Stacy Bent is the director of that organization. It focuses on sustainable energy, particularly renewables, grid storage, and how do you operate an electric grid in such a way that you can deal with all of the intermittency and other challenges of renewable energy. Affiliated with the Precourt Institute is the Stanford SLAC Institute for Materials and Energy Sciences, led by Ziyak Shen. and also the Program on Energy and Sustainable Development, which focuses a lot more on energy markets, both within the United States and around the world. So together, we are assembling really a complete portfolio dealing with the near-term, the long-term policy issues, economics, and so forth. So that's been a real boon to the program here. We also have something we call the Energy Seminar. This is a weekly seminar during the academic year on Wednesday afternoons, and many of the people from the community come to this. It's also a class. And we video all of these. We put all of these up on the web. We also provide additional resource material. And many of you have found this resource yourself. We haven't done much to publicize it, but basically every lecture, thousands of people are now coming to this website to have the opportunity to listen to some of the most influential people talk about energy. And students are also electrified by this issue, no pun intended. And there's a new website that the students have pulled together providing a comprehensive picture of energy at Stanford. So lots going on. I'd like to just spend the next few minutes talking about the symposium, what we have planned. We're very, very excited about the people who agreed to come and join us. First, you're going to hear about China's role in the energy economy from Dr. Zhu. He's a former mayor of Shanghai, former president of the National Academy of Engineering. We're absolutely delighted that he's going to be able to talk to us about China. Very, very important for the future of energy. Next, we'll hear from Christina Johnson about the DOE perspectives on how do we here address the challenges in energy that the United States faces. And then to wrap up this morning's session, Pam Matson will talk about how do we make good choices? How do we evaluate the environmental trade-offs, co-benefits, and unintended consequences of the energy options and climate responses? So the way we've organized this conference is sort of with bookends. So we have a plenary the first day in the morning, and then tomorrow afternoon we have another plenary session. So these are more general interest kind of talks, and we're absolutely delighted that we have a very exciting program for tomorrow afternoon as well. Thomas Friedman is going to be joining us with new thoughts on a hot, flat, and crowded world. We're also very appreciative that Steve Pacala, who's the director of the Princeton Environmental Institute, is also here to join us, and he's going to give us an update on what we know about the carbon cycle and how that informs our choices. And then the rest of the afternoon on Wednesday, we'll focus on two panel discussions. Again, very excited. We have the first one focusing on what can information technology do to address the energy challenge. And we have 4 industry leaders that will be on a panel moderated by Professor Mark Horowitz from Stanford University. And then the final panel discussion will be moderated by Andy Revkin, and he'll talk about the energy innovation ecosystem. So in GCEP, we focus on fundamental research. Our goal is not to stop there. Our goal is to have these technologies deployed widely around the globe. So how do we all work together? How do the technologists, the policy people, economists, financiers work together in this innovation system to deliver solutions to these challenges? So a little bit more about the program. We also have technical sessions. That's the heart of the GCEP program. So this afternoon, there will be both technical talks and a poster session on biofuels, bioenergy conversions, and carbon capture and sequestration. And then at the same time, we're doing a new offering at the GCEP Symposium. This was a suggestion by one of our sponsors, that we offer energy tutorials. So if there's something that you always wanted to know about, say if you work on solar energy and you really wanted to know about capture and storage, well, this is a great opportunity to have a very basic tutorial, learn the language, learn the basic concepts. So these tutorials are fully subscribed. You should know which one you're going to. We had to limit it to 1 per person. but that's a new addition, and we hope you enjoy that. So if you have not signed up for a particular tutorial, we really don't have room, so in that case, you'll be participating in the general session. So I just want to wrap up with saying thank you. It's wonderful to see you all here. Also, special thanks to the sponsors of the Global Climate and Energy Project, and also real special thanks to the GCEP staff who've done, I think, an absolutely marvelous job of pulling this together. And I hope that you all get a chance to thank them over the next day and a half, because I'm extremely appreciative of all they've done to make this very exciting event. So welcome, and thank you for being here.
For more, please visit us at stanford.edu.